Really problematic for Alchemist, definitely. That's one hero that'll have issues with it. Bane as well. And I think Necrophos, if he doesn't get a kill, or if you drain most of his mana before he gets a kill, he's not going to have enough mana for his ultimate sometimes.
Right.
And that could definitely really impact things.
Yeah, you have a huge mana pool as Necrophos, but level 3 Reaper Scythe is 500 mana.
Yeah.
It's an absurd cost.
It gets completely offset when you get the kill. Sadist was buffed recently to give you double the mana or something like that than it did before. It ends up giving you a huge amount of mana, but you have to get the kill to get that.
Yeah, it was a 50% increase.
Ooh.
Oh, nice pick off on the Bristleback. They're just able to run him down. The combination of Dazzle and Broodmother, that's an extra bit of security that allows the Brood to just man fight. And we may even see this build. This is the build that we've seen a couple times versus certain heroes like Axe. I think Bristleback is another example where you go for the spin webs and incapacitating bite, and you're basically doubling down on your kill power at level 6. But Puppey, yeah, he's going to be run down by XZ here. Fortunately, the slow is going to help out. Maybe Puppey can get enough distance. He's got a shell grave, so as long as he pops it at the right time here, this last will not finish him off, and they'll survive.
That was good. Really patient play from him there. He waited until the last one. The third will. Misery might die. He's got 5 stacks.
Yeah, he's actually got Enchanted Mango if he wants to just try and throw it out there, but doesn't actually go for it. He will get away. Meanwhile, Alchemist, oh, look at that. Another bounty rune for him.
Every time you're getting a bounty, that's what you want. Nothing else matters. Fissura's going to block off Envy a little bit. He's going to eat through the trees. He's got pretty high armor, and he's got a stick, so...
Yeah, he's even got that Mango just in case, and especially with the Death Pulse. I feel like that was such a big buff to the Necrophos because he was so bad in the laning phase that they buffed the Death Pulse from 75 to 125, considering that can be both a damage output as well as a heal. That's a very big turnaround.
It really hurt, or it helped his laning stage a lot before, like you said. It was just one of the worst skills ever, especially because you could only cast it like once or twice. So much better now, and both of these heroes can now heal, so they can basically, it's kind of similar to the Wisp strat yesterday. It was Wisp, Necrophos, with Bane. All those heroes can heal a lot. Weeha's in trouble, though.
Yeah, he's going to be turning around. Unstable Concoction. Gardner's going to try and get away. Nice tornado to interrupt that one, and Shiki will just get one more right click before Wee is forced into the healing south. So,
and more damage from creeps as well. Shiki's in a bit of trouble here. He does have a Tango, and he's got 2 levels in Quas, so he's getting a lot of regen, but that's not to say that a support can't necessarily rotate here and set up a kill.
Yeah, especially with Wee still having enough mana for more Acid Spray.
And we have a lane rotation coming up. Misery TPing to the top lane. He doesn't yet have any spawn Spiderlings, but he can definitely trade hits on aggressive.
Yeah, the early pressure on aggressive, how do you really respond to this one? You just throw out a Shadow Strike, but that's really going to be offset by the level 2 spin webs that's going to keep him rather healthy. Misery's now going to go back for all the spawn Spiderlings. If he wants to match up against the Queen of Pain, that's obviously going to be the build.
And the other really good thing about this lane swap is that CDEC has already used a lot of their sentries in their lanes. So they're kind of protected now. He just shifts to the top lane, he'll transition his build. He's got the early items that he needs, but he's still strong.
He gets a third bounty rune. This is so absurd. Pi has actually been sitting in the middle lane while Wee has been collecting those bounties.
4-minute power treads, bottle wand, full magic wand, by the way, and boots.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the CS difference, right? 17-3 compared to 21-10. But you look at the net worth, 3K compared to the almost 2K of Shiki. The power of the Alchemist.
Now, despite Alchemist's ability to gain insane amounts of gold, he does lack in a lot of other areas. He has low HP max. His stat gain is awful. His best stat gain is 1.8. And despite being a strength hero, so he definitely does need items to make up for that fact. And he's only really strong with his Chemical Rage up. When that's not up, his disable is easily counterable. You can dodge it. You can silence Alchemist. He is a bit of a weak hero, so this gold doesn't mean everything.
So speaking of that, the weakness of the Alchemist and how you're so dependent on Chemical Rage, initiation is oftentimes a big factor against an Alchemist, and shutting him down with disables before he can get off that ultimate. Do you think that Orchid is the choice here with this safe lane Queen of Pain that Aggressive is playing, that you just really want to try and get that early silence out so you can threaten these heroes like the Necrophos and Alchemist?
I think it's pretty decent against the hero pool. A lot of them can save themselves or delay a gank. Bane, Dazzle, Necrolite, or Necrophos, they all want to be able to cast a spell to be strong. So I could see an Orchid coming out of either the Queen of Pain or the Invoker this game. And there's already a Sage's Mask on Invoker. Doesn't necessarily reveal anything because there's a million items you can build with that, but very likely it could be an Orchid on him as well.
Pi is going to cut across here. Do they actually have the damage to take out XZ? They're going to try and surround him with a big Shadow Wave. That's going to start him out already down to half HP. With a Brain Sap over the top, they could definitely get this kill as they have another Death Pulse coming up. XZ just puts himself in the trees, but he knows he's dead. Eternal Envy will get the benefit of that level 2 Sadist.
Yeah, that's really nice. It wasn't just about the extra gold, it's also about the big mana heal that he gets from that. So lane push continues. Bristle's still dead for 13 seconds, and they're going to do some tower damage.
Misery has his level 6, so he's going to be quite dangerous. Doesn't actually get his ultimate, just going back for the spawn Spiderling, so he can have it maxed out by level 7. Obviously makes a lot of sense. Very few times you're going to really see that ultimate being utilized when you hit 6 anyway.
We may be going the same build as Eternal Envy did. He's going for a fast medallion. It was the medallion into Solar Crest, which gives you a lot of farming potential and a lot of teamfight survivability for a low cost, which will then let you leverage that extra gold gain into eggs. So he may go the exact same build, but he might also just be sticking on an early medallion. We'll see what he does with it. But so far, it looks like it's going to be the same build that we saw yesterday.
Carter. He's really been struggling to find good openings here. He hasn't actually been able to contribute to a kill. The middle lane with the Alchemist, that's just not a hero you can really gank up effectively, I feel, as a bounty hunter. So he's just sort of been lost in the woods. And now I look at the stacks that are happening. He's going to have great opportunity to farm through those very soon.
A lot of the heroes are actually really hard to gank. Maybe not difficult, but it's dangerous. If you're ganking a Necrolyte or a Necrophos, for example, he's going to heal himself and do a large amount of your HP. It's hard to gank a Broodmother.
Nice tornado.
So fast.
Shiki going to be able to turn around on Pylite Die. Weehaw just needs a couple more right clicks. Won't be able to get it down to Fisher on a Wee, and he's going to be in some serious trouble underneath that tier 1 tower. Fortunately, Chemical Rage and that HP regen is enough to be able to keep him alive. Puppey does come in with the Dazzle to make sure that Alchemist stays alive.
And now they back off and back to stacks, I guess. That hero's so hard to kill. 50 HP per second. And they don't really have the best carries. They don't really have anything that does a massive amount of sustained DPS. Maybe a gank on Bristletop.
Yeah, they're going to pop the ultimate here from Misery. He doesn't really care if he's feeding away Spiderlings as long as they can get XZ down here surrounding him. Shadow Wave. Whoa, look at that damage. XZ is definitely dead after that one. What great setup. This is just like these are two very defensive supports, and reminds me of the Shadow Demon Dazzle combination, where you get the disruption in, but Pylite Die, they're just finding these openings with 3 different heroes on top, and you throw some Spiderlings in there. You get the full Shadow Wave damage, and it's just absurd, the offensive capability of that spell.
Yeah, it's 2 defensive heroes, or 2 early game heroes that are pretty strong, and all of a sudden they're just creating space all over the map. They're just following Bristle, and they're saying, okay, this is pretty much your only late game carry, and Bristle's at best like a semi-carry kind of a thing, sometimes a hard carry, and they're just completely shutting him down. They're going to make it really hard for him to do anything serious to the carries late game.
Radiant's bottom
Eternal Envy, pretty self-sufficient at this point in time, but they're still going to try and go on in here with 2 different heroes. The Death Pulse goes out. They have to throw out the ultimate to make sure Eternal Envy does die here, as Puppey was going to TP in and provide that Shell Grave, and who knows what could have happened from there. They're still going to complete this dive. Puppey doesn't have much mana to go on, but it seems like it's just a bit too dangerous of a venture for CDEC.
Yeah, his TP actually went to work. He didn't have mana after he TP'd in. So a bit of a mismanagement. But on the bright side, he's going to get some solo experience from being down here. And with all those early kills that he got, he's already level 6. This is going to be really nice for him.
Rotation around, a level 8 Alchemist. I don't really see them being able to gank that one. Gardner just a bit too late to pick off the courier, unfortunately.
Nowhere near close to Echo Slam or anything like that. So,
oh, they go for the block off here, just taking one of those smaller creeps.
I don't think that was a terrible thing. Small, very, very small decrease in gold. Really, if you fissure it, that's like a 100 gold swing, something like that. It's like Revel's Beatles. It's the bottle. And he continues to farm 1,400 gold for him. So we'll basically find out if he's going Solar Crest in just a moment.
Yeah, I really think he is. I think that item is just so efficient.
I really like that CDC's pressuring the Necrolyte, or the Necrophos. He's really the one hero that kind of low armor, not the best survivability, not very high HP. Shiki here as well. This is so dangerous.
Yeah, the tornado, they kind of blocked him out. The EMP is definitely going down. Eternal Envy has no more mana to work with, but he does have Puppey here. The right Shell Grave can help keep Eternal Envy alive. Aggressive doesn't have his ultimate, though, and they do not have the burst damage to get the kill on the Necrophos. They force some rotations. Weehaw coming in as well, so at least that's a small win. As he has completed his Solar Crest, hopefully they can keep him from farming for a little bit.
Yeah, the survivability this item gives you is massive. You normally have very low armor, but you get armor and you get evasion. So all of a sudden it becomes so hard for their opponents to be down. He's going to pop his ult. He gets it off in time.
Oh dear, the chain stun isn't going to be quite enough. Now he starts getting that HP reach, and now he's turning things around with an unstable concoction, but a tornado goes out. He managed to get off the stun just in time. If he had stunned himself, that would have been havoc. Q now comes in, but he doesn't have the Fisher anymore. They're going to Pylite Die. Pylite Die just simply turns around, gets the right click down. So it's a 1-for-1 trade-off top lane. XC's being being run down by Misery, but XE will be fine, and that bottom tier 1 tower goes down in the process. Wins for Team Secret across the board. They traded 1 for 1, but it was much heavier cost for CDEC when it comes to heroes, just to make sure that it was a trade-off, and the result is Team Secret are able to take advantages on the side lanes.
And this very fast Solar Crest is a very innovative build. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this for months to come on Alchemist, because the survivability is so high. You saw it there. He's completely caught out by 3 heroes, and he just easily survived it. It wasn't a big deal at all for him.
Yeah, especially with these heroes. I mean, you have a good amount of magic damage coming out from the Invoker as well as the Queen of Pain, but especially with the Colossus X Invoker, I think you're much more dependent on your right clicks, because one of your main sources is going to be the damage from Cold Snap, right?
Yeah.
And so you have a lot of right clicks that are coming out from you. The Queen of Pain, I think, is actually like very physical damage dependent, more than you would expect out of an intelligence hero.
Yeah, I would agree with that completely. It's going to be so hard to kill him, and the best way to counter magic damage is HP, and HP regen is more or less the same thing if you don't die. So he's got what he needs to stay alive in these team fights, and the one hero that maybe could have shredded him was Bristleback, and he's having a rough game.
The push forwards, and throwing out the ultimate from the Dazzle. Garter scouting things around. He almost has his level 6, and if he soaks up the experience of this, he will get it. But yeah, the Death Pulse does hit him, and Garter's got to back up a bit.
Envy will love to get a lot of mana from this. Only 2 levels of Sadist right here. One of the downsides of putting a Necrophos in a tri-lane, he's not going to hit that important level 10 as fast. He needs 4 points in Sadist to... Oh, what a snipe.
Nice. Double big creeps.
That was a good one, man. Value Tornado.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Pressure coming from CDC on the bot lane. They have their ultimates, but not Earthshaker. Garter does pick up track, though.
Pie's in some trouble here in the middle lane. He can't get off the Brain Sap, but Shiki has actually now locked in. What a save from Eternal Envy that allows the Brain Sap to go off, and Shiki is going to be forced back. Meanwhile, that Bounty Hunter does get caught by the counter wards out from Puppey. But, oh man, Eternal Envy, I mean, that was such a smart play, throwing out the Reaper Sight, just practically no damage, but the stun duration was enough to be able to allow the Brain Sap to go out from the Bane, saving his life.
I'm really glad you got that fight, because I was watching the bottom one, and it was basically this Observer Ward in the jungle here spotted out the Bounty just barely moving over, so Weehaw was able to set up, and they just blew him up once he got to the Observer Ward position. Really good gank there. It cost him a lot of Sentry Wards and a lot of money from Puppey here, since he has 4 down, but he's fine. He's level 7, he's got the levels he needs. He's transitioning into some tankiness, and I think he's going to be just fine this game.
Now, what do you think? This is going to be a little crazy here, but we've seen the rise of Huskar, especially in pubs, and the build specifically, right? Solar Crest and oftentimes Heaven Halberd doubling down on the invasion. Do you think this Alchemist is going the typical SNY, or do you think a Heaven's Halberd is possible?
Man, he really is making a Sanj. I think... I'm actually unsure. I think he is going to double down on the evasion, because when a team is lacking on DPS, a bit of extra evasion is going to go a long way on him.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely a possibility. And again, the one hero that does good sustained DPS is going to be Bristleback. And if you can stop him from attacking for 3 seconds, yeah, Quills is still going to do a lot, but it's basically counteracting his ultimate for a short period of time. I think a Halberd is definitely a possibility here. He's going to be virtually unkillable once he hits 16.
Oh, certainly. XC, all he's got right now is a Vitality booster on top of the Strength Treads. They have a 2-man rotation by CDC into their own jungle as Garter's kind of scouting things out. They really want to get a pick off, but they're just not searching in the right place. They kind of see Puppey, but that's not it. Misery and Pylite dying would be the better options. But in the meantime, while they're looking in their own jungle, they have to worry about the middle lane that's about to go down. Wee is going to pop the Chemical Rage and commit to taking this Tier 1 tower. An attempt to deny, not going to be in time. And Weehaw rakes in even more gold.
The mana does end up being a big deal, but he's still got a bottle and a magic wand that he's always going to be holding. So this is not that big of a hurt here. Gank coming up on Bristleback.
Just look at that. CDC were just there in the top lane trying to help the Bristleback and go for the gank, but as soon as they've left, now XC is left open for a pickoff, and Team Secret take full advantage of that opportunity.
Garter showing up to try to help, but it's just not going to do much. They do have their rotation, though. EMP and a Cold Snap ready.
Yeah, Aggressive is here as well. The ultimate goes down. Shalgrave actually saves himself. Will be good for the time being. Highlight Die actually going down to the side. Q actually hit by the nuke from Weehaw with the Solar Crest on top. That brings him down to half HP. Misery commits for the kill on Aggressive. Will be able to pick it up. Misery's now going to run down another hero potentially, but Shiki and Garter just a bit too fast.
What a huge kill. Broodmother just solo killing a Queen of Pain. How often does that happen? And Puppey survived. Like, all these fights are just going a little too bad for CDEC. I feel like they're panicked or something. I mean, the Sonic Wave was much after when the Grave came out, and it just completely wasted. That's a 135-second cooldown ability. You cannot waste that thing.
The Orchid is actually going to be on the Invoker. Not terribly surprising, I suppose. So, what does that leave with our Queen of Pain? If you already have the Orchid on the Invoker, do you just go for the typical Ags and just try and counter the Broodmother with that?
Yeah, I would have said Ags as well, even though he already had the booster. Just extra burst damage, lower cooldown. Puppey, again, going to get the Grave off. He doesn't have a TP, though, so surely he dies this time. His team's coming to back him up, though. Maybe
Don't
give him
tell
a sleep.
me, Pi, he's going to go for the sleep onto the Invoker, but the right click is still there, and Shiki will manage to get out underneath the Acid Spray, wakes him back up. Gets off the Ghost Walk. The dust is on him, but it doesn't seem to matter. He's still fast enough to stay ahead of these heroes. The dust will eventually run out. Meanwhile, Mystery actually catching Garter as well. Mystery is just tearing this game up as the Broodmother. And now Brood, well, he's going to be hit by the Shadow Strike, but he's already clear enough from Aggressive that he can't commit for the kill.
He's 5-0-0 right now, and all he has is phase boost flats. Like, this looks like a crappy pub build, but it's actually, he's getting a lot of value out of it. He's finding the heroes that are out of position. He's keeping his nets in areas where you can team fight, and he's actually contributing to fights. It's pretty amazing, his versatility of this game. Some games he's just going to farm a lot. Other games he participates in fights. He's really doing a lot of different things, changing his build up a lot. Like, different build every game. That's basically been every Broodmother at this tournament.
Still looking at the side of CDC and wondering what items can they pick up that's actually going to change the fate of this game. Aggressive now just has a point booster, but they're all just so under-farmed. Meanwhile, you look at the net worth, and Team Secret about to pop that 10k marker by 20 minutes on two different heroes. Bottom lane, they're going to go on the Necrophos. They're trying to catch him out. They burn through a lot of his mana, but again, the rotations are there. And Shiki slowed down a bit. Wing still has his Chemical Rage. He wants to try and force something. Meanwhile, in the middle lane,